let's talk about making yourself useful. So you figure 200 years ago, when people wanted to head out west, 300 years ago, when they got out there and there was no towns around, really nobody to help them, they literally had to do everything for themselves. You had to be a farmer, a seamstress, mechanic, metal worker, blacksmith, carpenter. So not only did you have to do those things, but pretty much you either had to make your own tools, unless you bartered for them in a town. And you had to keep them up, maintain them, especially in farming. So bring that to today. Times are tough. They're going to get tougher. I don't see them going anywhere but down for the next 2 years. So it pays to have knowledge and to do things yourself. Things can be cheaper, and or you can barter your skills for things. I mean, you can, at any age, you can learn how to do anything. Like be a mechanic, work on cars. I've been doing it all my life. My dad shoved a wrench into my hand when I was 5 years old, and I helped him put an exhaust on the truck we owned at the time. Thrush hush system on a Chevy C10 we had at the time. That was the first time I ever used a tool. And I went from there on to where I became a Honda Acura tech and worked on my own vehicles all my life. Every vehicle I've had, I've done the work on it. Everything from a simple oil change to brakes to engine work to you name it. Interior work. I used to do interior upholstery, so I learned that as a skill. I can do carpentry. I have the tools to do it. I can cook. I can sew. It pays to learn how to do these things. So if you have a piece of clothing that you tear, you just learn how to sew. Learn on a piece of junk clothing that you only wear around the house. That way you don't care how ugly your fix is. And then go from there. And in today's day and age, when you have YouTube to find help on every different subject in the world, there's really no excuse. You can learn how to read weather maps. You can learn how to read a compass. You can learn how to find your way through a forest if you're lost. And these are all useful skills at some point. Even if they aren't, it doesn't hurt to have the knowledge. At a very young age, me and my friend would go run around in the back behind where I lived, out in the forest and down creeks, and we used to creek stomp and fish and you name it. I learned how to navigate around obstacles, and it's fun too. Well, when I was young enough to enjoy it, now having to do that type of thing might not be fun. But it doesn't hurt to have the knowledge to do such things. So maybe one day you can do the brakes on your car and save yourself a ton of money. Most places will charge you $100 an axle or $100 a corner, on top of parts. So you're looking at $400 just for labor, and probably another $400 or $500 for parts, because mechanics charge at least 100% more than what the parts should cost. 100% markups, nothing. I worked for an exotic car dealership back in the 90s, and like BMW, our parts markup was over 100%. Ferrari, Rolls-Royce, Porsche, all parts markups were 100 to 300%. So if you can learn how to do it yourself, but do it well, learn how to inspect things, learn how to be methodic, think through the problem. Every different car has a different brake problem, different types of solutions, different mechanical solutions. It's easier if they're disc brakes, I'll tell you now. I'm not a drum brake person, even though I can do it. I mean, just doing anything like that, like an oil change, albeit some places you can get it done fairly cheap, but don't go to Walmart. Walmart sucks. They'll ruin your vehicle in a heartbeat and not blink twice about it. But yeah, it pays to learn how to detail vehicles, how to clean cars. They'll last a lot longer the cleaner you keep them. Your tools, firearms, learn how to work on firearms, clean them. Of course, how to properly use them. That's the most important. If you want to scare the government, buy a gun and learn how to use it effectively. Get training. There's a lot that goes on with that. Knives, carry knives. A good knife is priceless. It can do anything for you anytime you need it. It doesn't require ammunition. It does require some upkeep, depending on the knife and what kind of situations you use it in. But this is all stuff that can save you money, effort, headache. I mean, let's learn how to read a map. That's all, pretty much almost dead. You know, what's going to happen if GPS satellites go out? I mean, what happens if a nuclear device was to go off and it kills all electronic devices? So, have knowledge, gain knowledge. Don't ever think you're too old. And if you don't like the internet, go get a book, because libraries still exist, albeit not used. And I think if you read something, you retain that knowledge better than if you watch it on a screen. You can watch stuff and replicate how it's done, but did you actually gain the knowledge? That's why with every vehicle I ever get, I get some sort of manual with it. That way, just out of curiosity, you can read through the manual and see what's up with your vehicle. It's just a great way to gain knowledge. Reading in general, it's dying. Reading equals knowledge, and knowledge is priceless. Knowledge and freedom are the two most important things we have. Problem is, knowledge is dying, and, well, so is freedom. Okay, I've gone on. Thanks for watching.